Let's now take a look at some other news. And opposition leader Peter Dutton says a government under his leadership would double the amount of income pensioners can earn without reducing pension payments. Now, it's nothing new. It's a brilliant idea. Seniors Australia have been calling for this for ages, particularly given the critical labour shortages facing the country right now. The Chief Advocate, Ian Henschke, joins me. Ian, great news that Dutton's supporting this, but why didn't the coalition do this when they were in power?
Well, it's a very good question. In fact, I would like to see more contact from people in government with seniors so they understand what's going on. You might remember the election before last, the Labor Party said that they were going to take action around seniors and it became a key issue. In fact, I think this issue is going to become a key issue because business wants it to happen. They want more labour force in the country. We've got 423,000 job vacancies at the moment with a list about to come out this week. And what we're saying is not exactly what Peter Dutton's saying. We've got a different view. We actually think that what they should be doing is targeting low-income pensioners and allowing them to work as much as they want, not just doubling the work bonus, but allowing them to work as much as they want. Take the handbrake off the system, get Centrelink out of the way, let those pensioners work and pay tax. Now, if you do that, then you will actually be doing three things. You'll have a win for the pensioners, you'll have a win for business, you'll have a win for the economy. And that's because back in 2012, Chris Richardson from Deloitte Access Economics said if you increase older worker participation by just 5% in this country, you will increase GDP by 48 billion. You don't do it by fiddling with the existing system. You do it by having a new system where people can opt out of the Centrelink, Centrelink bureaucracy at the moment. Because what happens is people have to report every fortnight to Centrelink. We're saying get rid of that system and actually let those on low incomes choose to opt out of the present system. In other words, don't get that pension work bonus, don't get those tax offsets, simply pay tax like everybody else and work like everybody else. Now, the person who's come up with this idea the strongest is in fact the former Minister for Small Business and Family Business, and that was Craig Laundy. He said that they need 106,000 people to work in hospitality. And so he said, trial it for 2 to 3 years, check it out at the end of a couple of years and see how it's going, and he thinks it will work. He says that they've got pensioners there who are willing to work, and we know they're willing to work because we've surveyed them. 20% say that they are willing to work, and so that's a lot of pensioners.
See, I generally can be the devil's advocate here and come up with potential reasons why, arguments against. I'm flabbergasted. I can't think of any, and we spoke a lot during the election campaign. I believe really, truly in what you guys are trying to do. What is the argument against? Why aren't we doing this, particularly with the labour shortage?
Well, one of the arguments is Treasury. You see, at the moment, when a pensioner works more than 1 day a week and they say they work 2 or 3 days a week, then they claw back 50 cents in the dollar and they tax them as well. Now, the only problem with that system is it discourages people from working. They get caught up in the Centrelink system and people say, look, I don't want to be bothered with all that. I won't do it. I'll tell you a very interesting fact, Erin. There are plenty of people who work who are self-funded retirees, and in fact, they work at 12 times the rate of pensioners. Now, the reason they do that is because they don't have to deal with Centrelink. Like, get Centrelink out of the way and just let people work and pay tax. Now, that's the system that they have in New Zealand. And I'll give you a figure from New Zealand. 1 in 4 people over the age of 65 is still in the workforce in New Zealand. In Australia, we've got 3% of pensioners working. So 3% compared to 25%, you can see why there's a big problem there. We've created a system that actually pushes people away from work. And the other thing, Erin, I brought in today was this report, which was done in 2016, and it says that 1 in 4 pensioners in Australia is living in poverty. And when you get to women are the ones that are most likely to be living in poverty, and they're the people that we need at the moment to be working because they would benefit from working, and we also need workers in aged care, home care, childcare, health and hospitality, tourism. All of those areas are crying out for workers. Now, I go back to Craig Laundy, the former Minister for Family and Small Business. He said it's a crazy system and it needs to be fixed. They are his exact words, a crazy system that needs to be fixed.
Well, we had him on the show last week and he was talking about the issues that they have in hospitality still. They're obviously ongoing. I come from a sporting background, Ian, and the thought of New Zealand doing anything better than us, whether it be on the field or off it, annoys me greatly. So we really need to get on board with this. And not only would it boost Australia's bottom line, it improves both productivity and output. These are skilled workers we're talking about, not people who have no skills at all.
Yeah, exactly. And look, there's another group that gets affected by this Centrelink system, and that's, of course, the veterans. Now, you'd be very interested in this, and I'm sure your father would be as well, that a veteran gets a pension at 60. Now, many of those people would have years of work that they could still do. We're saying they're affected by this system as well. So the veterans who would like to continue to work, they lose 50 cents in the dollar from their pension as well. So we're saying to them, look, get rid of these bonuses and penalty systems that we've got at the moment and make it a simple, fair system. If someone wants to stay with the pension work bonus and the Senior Australian Pensioners Tax offset and work 1 or 2 days a week, let them stay on that system. But let's have an opt-in system where you can say, I'm going to opt into this new system where I will forego my pension work bonus, I'll forego my Senior Australian Pensioners Tax offset, and I'll just work and pay tax like everybody else. That's the way to do it. Make it simple, make it fair, and do it as quickly as possible, because those job vacancies are actually costing lives. I'm speaking to home care providers as we speak today who cannot provide the home care that's needed, and they have pensioners on their books and they will not work more than 1 or 2 days a week. And even if Mr Dutton's doubling it, they won't do it. They want Centrelink out of the system. They just want to be able to work.
Yep, they need to do it now, Ian. You speak a lot of sense. Thank you so much. I know you're so passionate about this. Give people the choice. It's pretty simple. Thank you so much, and we'll keep following this with interest.